first Musar Shmuz in the Torah, when Cain brought a korban, and Hashem did not accept the korban, and Hevel brought the korban afterwards and he accepted his korban, and Cain was very angry. So the Rebbeinu Shem came to Cain, and he told him, Im teitiv seis, vim loy seitiv la pesach chatas roivitz. Zok the Vilna Goy in an unbelievable Musar Haskell Neira in life. What does it mean, la pesach chatas roivitz? Cain said, it's not my fault. I had a Yetzer Hara. It was hard for me to give away good stuff. Zok the Rebbeinu Shalom, it is your fault. La pesach chatas roivitz. The Yetzer Hara only comes to a person, Zok the Vilna Goyin, after you open the door. When you open the door, a mashu, one little mashu, and you let the Yetzer Hara in, once you let him in, it's done and he takes you over. That was the first Musar Haskell that the Rebbeinu Shalom told Cain, it is your fault. Just recently, my air conditioner system in my house went, and they had to replace it. So I was watching them, and they said that there was a tiny, you can't see the hole. There's a tiny, tiny hole, and once there's a tiny, tiny hole, all the freon goes out and it's all over. What's the pshat? Because when there's a tiny hole in the system, it's done. The same thing as us, Rabbi say. The Musar Haskell we have to take out is that we can't let the Yetzer Hara in the door, because once he's in the door, it's all over. I want to tell them a ma'asen noira about my father. My father was Adam Godel Adam Hoid. In the last 7 years of his life, he doesn't tell us all the years, the last 7 years of his life, he came to live in Lakewood. And the man learned Yoimam Balayla Lo Yishboisu, all day and all night. Any day there was in between, I'm usually here in Darche, but if there's a day that there's no yeshiva, like in between the yeshiva and camp, there's like a couple of days, I used to live with my father for a Seder. I come one day, my father said, whenever you're ready, pick me up. I come one day and knock on the door, and I see my father walking around his dining room table. He lived on Autumn Road, a tiny, small house on Autumn Road. And I see he's walking around, he's listening to Ashir, walking and walking in a tiny dining room, mamish daled by daled. I say, Ta, what are you doing? Why are you walking around your dining room table? He says, the doctor told me I got to do for exercise, I have to walk a half hour a day. A few days ago, I was walking on 14th Street in Lakewood Ir HaKodesh, Choshev Makom Torah, and maybe he saw a lady uncovered a drop. Maybe, he said. He said, I made a Kabbalah then. If Chas v'Shalom, my mistake made have seen something, an elbow. The thing was, he said, maybe he saw a lady's elbow. So he made a Kabbalah then, from now on, for the rest of his life, that all exercise has to be done in his house. La Pesach Chatas Roivitz, because he didn't let the Yetzer Hara in. If you don't let him in, he stays right out. When he was nifter, and I brought him to Eretz Yisrael, so before you put anyone in the ground, you have to identify him. So they opened him up, and Chevra Kadisha said over there, Mi who's that? Who Adam Godel? So I say, yeah, how do you know he's I say, here's a Godel, how do you know? He says, look at his face. He's smiling ear to ear. Look at him, he's so happy. He was not alive. But his smile on the face is not shaykh. How is a person zoiche? Achar me'av esem to be this happy. If the pshat is you lived your life, and we live every day, we live in such a crazy world today. We live in a world, everywhere you go, you can't open your eyes. I had to go to Los Angeles last week. It's a pacha noira. My brother made a wedding there. You can't, wherever you go, in the airport, on the plane, it's not shaykh. But the Rebbe is giving all of us this yainus. And if we have an Israel, we can do it. We have to try our hardest. First of all, the ikar is not to go where you're not supposed to go. Because when you go where you're not supposed to go, then it's already too late. Because when you go where you're not supposed to go, you open the door. You got to keep the door shut. If you keep the door shut, we'll be zayche to Yeshuas and Achamas, b'nisin asidim legal.